Too fast, too furious. Today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook. You know, if you just joined the show and you saw those cars from Too Fast, Too Furious racing down the street, that's because it's Movie Mania week this week on Let's Cook, and we are paying tribute to some of those great summer smash hits. Today, Too Fast, Too Furious. That's what we're doing. In honor of the movie, I came up with some menu items that are either furious because of the heat in them, or they're fast because I'm using coffee in them. So you got fast and you got furious going on. The first item we're going to make is a hot and sour soup with some fried jalapeno rounds. Then I'm going to do a chicken chili wasabi wrap. Okay, there we got a little fury going on there with the heat. Then we're doing a pan roasted tenderloin with an apricot coffee sauce. That'll get you going. And last but not least, out of this world, a coffee and caramel Roulade. Oh, fast and furious today on Let's Cook. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start to make the soup. Now, to make the soup, I have a pan right here. And to heat this soup, let me get some oil heating up in here. But to heat this soup, see what I have right here? Norm, can you get a shot on this? Beautiful. This is a habanero chili. Very, very hot. Now, I have some julienne here because I took the seeds out because it just, you know, it's going to be hot. It's going to be very furious, but you don't want it to be too hot. So I've heated my pan here. Into the pan now, I add some garlic. I add some shallots. I have a little bit of celery there. We have some onions. And all we're going to do is start to cook this a little bit. Just sweat them off, cook off a little bit of the sulfur that's actually found in the onions there. Then, now we'll add our habaneros. We're going to add some chicken stock to this now. We're going to bring this up to a simmer. After it comes up to a simmer, what's going to end up happening is we're going to get a little bit of film on top, a little bit of the impurities that are coming out of the stock. Once we've removed those, then we add our potatoes to this as well. You're going to cook this for about half an hour until all the flavors have come together and it starts to thicken up just a little bit. Now, I have one over here already that I've already cooked and done that too. Now, to finish this soup, what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do, I already have some beans in there. I'm going to add some red beans because they'll be delicious in the soup here. Okay, they'll also mellow out a little bit of the habanero chili that's in there. Then I'm going to thicken this. Now, while I'm getting ready to thicken that, I need to get the garnish because this has to come up to a simmer to thicken. In this pan here, I have a little bit of safflower oil. And what I did is I took some jalapeno chilies right here, and I just dredged them in a little bit of seasoned flour. I'm just going to fry these off. I took out the seeds too because I have the habaneros there, but I'm just going to drop these into this oil and pan fry these very quickly. This is a garnish for my soup. Now, those are almost done. That's good. Now, coming over here, my soup is now starting to come up to a simmer. Now, I have right here a little bit of cornstarch dissolved in a little bit of cold water. Whenever you dissolve the cornstarch in cold water, make sure it's about the consistency of whole milk. Then we just take a little bit of time, add this to our soup just to give it a little bit of body. Just need a little bit of body in there, this fast and furious soup that we're making. Let that come up to a simmer so that thickens up. Well, that's going on. Let me go ahead and get my jalapenos out of the oil here because these are all done now too. And this is just a garnish for this soup. It'll go really well together. Fast and furious. I thought my son's car was fast. Now to finish this soup now, simmering, has a nice thickness, and I want you to just see how that tightened up nicely. To finish my soup now, just add a few scallions into this. Beautiful. This soup is now good to go. I'm going to put this in a bowl right here. There we are. Beautiful. Then we finish this with the fried jalapeno rounds. We're going to take a little break. And then for our tribute to Fast and Furious next, we're making a wonderful chili chicken wasabi wrap. Don't go anywhere. It's summer movie tribute this week on Let's Cook, especially today with Fast and Furious. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome to our Fast and Furious food today in tribute to the movie Too Fast, Too Furious, this summer's blockbuster hit. Now, we made our delicious spicy soup here with the fried jalapeno rounds. Very furious. Now we're going to do another hot item. We're going to make a chili chicken wasabi wrap. Now, in this pan right here, I have some chicken breasts with some garlic, some cayenne and chili powder, bay leaf. And all you do is you take the chicken breast, you simmer it in here for about a half an hour. You need to really allow this to simmer. Once it's simmered and it's cooked all the way through, cool it down right in the juices so it looks like this. So I have this chicken breast here. I already cooled it down in the juices because as it relaxes, it absorbs all of the flavor, kind of goes back into the meat. Then we take this and we shred it so it looks like this. So what you do is, I'll just show you very quickly. You take this out of here. And even with the knife, you just go like this and then you just kind of pull it apart. You can even just pull it this way and pull it apart. Then you put some of that chili sauce back into it. So the poaching liquid goes back into it. So you have some real good spice there. So let me just put this out of the way here. Now, for the wasabi, that's where we're using a little bit of horseradish here. I have some wasabi powder right here. I'm going to take my wasabi powder, very spicy, little bit of lemon juice. We're going to actually dissolve this wasabi now so that we have a paste. Then to my paste now, I'm going to use a little bit of butter and a little bit of sour cream here. We mix this together so we have a spreadable liquid because again, remember we have the heat there. The butter's going to cut it a little bit. We have the flavor of the sour cream because this is for our chili chicken wasabi wrap. Now, so that's good to go. To make the wrap, take a flour tortilla, any flatbread that you like, a little bit of the spread. We're going to spread this right onto our wrap right here. Then we'll just take here, I'll just use this fork here. We'll just take a little bit of chicken right here, right along the middle there. Delicious. Abs out of this world. And this is so spicy. It's a delicious summer wrap to go with the summer blockbusters. Then what I like to do, a little bit of spinach here, a little bit of the romaine lettuce there, and then I'll even actually a little bit of lemon juice here and a little bit of salt and pepper on the lettuce and the spinach. Take this, bring this over this way, hold this, support this way. You grab this, you pull it nice and tight this way, making sure it's all in there. Then you roll this really nice and tight. Beautiful. We take this now, cut this on an angle. See how good that looks on the inside? Doesn't that look great? Then, again, remember, fast, furious. This is furiously hot. I'll take this, I'll set this up on a plate here. And then what I also have is right here, in this little bowl right here, I have a little bit of diced, like just very thinly julienned radish. I'm going to take a little bit of this radish in here, very thinly julienned. And I also have some spicy sprouts right here. Going to take some spicy sprouts here. We're going to drizzle this with just a little bit of olive oil. You don't want to serve it plain. A little bit of salt in there, a little bit of pepper. Just kind of toss this together. There we are, beautiful. and serve this with our delicious chili chicken wasabi wrap. Furiously delicious, furiously hot. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to speed it up with a little bit of pan roasted tenderloin with an apricot coffee sauce. It's summer movie tribute today on Let's Cook. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So which one do you want? The yellow one or the blue one? I would take either of them because they're both so fast, both so furious. Now, in our tribute to summer blockbusters, this next item I'm making is a pan roasted or pan seared pork tenderloin. And we're making to kind of speed it up a little bit. We're actually making a coffee apricot sauce to go with it. So first thing I have to do is right in a dish right here, I have to sear my pork tenderloin. So I have some cumin right here. I have some cayenne, about half as much cayenne as cumin. To this now, I'm going to put a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper. Then I'm going to take some oil. Just put some oil there. And then what I'll do is I'll mix this together so that the seasonings are nice and wet. We then take our pork tenderloin here and we just dredge it or roll it in our seasonings this way. Then we take the tenderloin now in a pan, which I have right here, and we're going to sear this on all sides. So I'm going to let that start to sear. That's going to start to brown up on both sides. But right here, I already have one done in this pan where I've seared it on all sides. And you can see how nice and brown that is. Then what I do is I take this and I'm going to pop this I'm going to bring the whole pan over to the oven here. I'm going to take this now, put this on a pan. Let that finish cooking in the oven, but I already have one here that's already done. So now what I do is I take this, going to put this on a plate, and I'm going to allow this to rest. While that's resting, I'll make my sauce. Now to make my sauce, you'll notice there's a little bit of fat in here, not too much. We're going to heat up the pan now, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shallot to this. I'm going to let that shallot just to start to saute a little bit. Fast, furious. Need a little bit of brandy in here. And what we're going to do with the brandy, simply going to add a little bit of brandy to this. Then we're going to flame this fast, furious. So let me light that up. There we go. Let that brandy finish cooking off. As that's cooking off now, I'm going to add a little bit of apricot nectar, a little bit of instant coffee right here, a little bit of Kahlua. That's my sauce. Out of this world. Now, the only thing I have to do now is I'm just going to dissolve this, let this cook down just a little bit. And then I'm going to lightly thicken this with just a little bit of butter. Need a little bit more apricot nectar in there. So while this is cooking down now I can take my pork tenderloin right here and I can start to slice it and get it ready to serve. Again, remember, we need to allow the pork tenderloin to rest a little bit. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to slice this down on a little bit of a bias. Okay. And then see how well this is done? This is perfectly done. See that nice and medium on the inside? Absolutely out of this world. Then I'll just take a little bit of a strainer right over here. My sauce is almost done here. The only thing I have to do right now, add a little bit of butter to this. Fast, furious. And we're adding one more word to this, rich. Out of this world. So then we take our sauce right here. I'm going to pick this up, bring it over here. Just going to strain this right onto the plate right there. I'm going to fill the entire bottom of the plate with this. Oh, doesn't that sauce look fantastic? Then we take our pork here and we'll set this up right onto the plate here. Okay. So for fast, for furious, for delicious, try making this pan-seared tenderloin with a coffee apricot glaze. You know, Kahlua is coffee-based liqueur as well. So This is definitely going to speed it up a little bit for the summer. We're going to take a little break. And then when we come back, I'm making a definitely high-speed dessert of coffee and caramel roulade. Don't go anywhere. It's Too Fast, Too Furious. A tribute today on Let's Cook. It's just too fast and too furious. That's coffee ice cream being softened today on Let's Cook to go into my roulade. So I have my coffee ice cream and I'll show you. See how it's not melting? It's really softened so that it's spreadable. So I'm just going to leave this on a low speed while I make my roulade. Now to make the roulade, everybody's had a jelly roll. Right here in this pan right here, I have a jelly roll that I made already. Now, this was the bottom of my jelly roll here. And what I did is I took it out of the pan, I inverted it into another pan. I'm just going to take this out for a second and show you something here. On this side right here, because right here is, see my crumb topping right here? This was the top of the jelly roll. And it's a good idea to go in with your hand and just remove all of this extra crumb topping. This is also, by the way, save this because it's great as a filler in cakes or anything like that, out of this world. But this way, we'll be able to get all of the flavor into our roulade. So we just go back and forth like this. Of course, you're going to make a mess. Try the crumbs. Oh, so good. Okay, good. Now, I just need to actually brush this off a little bit. I need to get rid of these crumbs really well because I have to put something in this to really give it great flavor. So, and I just have a crumb mess going on everywhere. Too fast, too furious. So now, not butterscotch, caramel syrup. So just spread that all over there. Just kind of drizzle it everywhere. Then, with a spatula, you're going to take and you're just going to spread this so it really covers the inside of this. This is also going to help to seal it too. Then, instant espresso. So you just kind of spread this all over the place. I'm so excited about this. This is so good. So we spread that. Then we take our softened ice cream here. Now this is where you have to work relatively quickly. So I'm going to take my softened ice cream right here. Put a little bit here, a little bit there. This roulade takes exactly 1 pint of coffee ice cream to fill. We'll take this now. We'll spread this. This is where you have to work quickly. You need to make sure that your cake is nice and cold. This here, beautiful. Don't worry about going all the way to the edges because you'll cut that off too when you go to serve it. So we spread this around nice and even like this, you notice? So you have a nice even covering. You notice I didn't go to all the edges. Then where my paper is attached right here, watch how easy this is. I just take this, I pull this over, I seal it. Come here, pull my paper back, come a little bit more, seal it a little bit more. Be careful not to tear your roulade. Now remember, when you make the roulade has no fat in it at all. No fat in it at all. It's just egg whites, flour, cornstarch, sugar, vanilla. See this here now? I take this, I put this in the freezer. I refreeze this. I already have one done. And what I'll do is if I'm not going to serve it right away, what I'll do is I'll wrap it in plastic wrap. That way it won't pick up any of the freezer flavor. Then, let me just show you how good this looks when we cut into this. See, I have my paper around it. I already cut one because I had to show you the one plate there. But see, go like this. Cut a nice slice like this right here. Take a plate right here. Take a little bit of coffee sauce right here. Then, too fast, too furious. You want to speed it up a little bit? Take your roulade right here, unwrap it about 10 minutes before you're going to serve it, and you have it right there. And then, of course, finish it with just a little bit of instant espresso coffee and a little bit of powdered sugar. Definitely too fast, too furious today on Let's Cook. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.